I got a really good video for you guys today. So, after about 6 months sober off of alcohol for the millionth time, I decided that I was going to quit taking my anti-anxiety medication called Xanax, which I grew a physical and mental dependency to, but became absolutely sick of the thought of depending on anything, so I got rid of them. The withdrawal symptoms were excruciating, okay? And this is the second time that I've quit Xanax. The first time was in a treatment center where before they were going to rush me to the ER because of my blood pressure, they pumped me full of blood pressure medications, blood thinners, and antipsychotics, which brought me down, okay? So I'm going through it, and I got this Tennessee trip coming up where I decided that's where I was going to finish out the withdrawals, but the withdrawals became so bad doing this alone at home, I ended up running to the bottle to try to curb the withdrawals from Xanax. On the way down to Tennessee it was getting bad, and we're going on, I don't know, everything's a blur. I'm clear now, but everything's a blur. It was either 7 to 11 days without Xanax, and the ride down there was just absolutely horrible. But no better place to do this stuff. Treatment centers aren't the way to go for me. It doesn't work. So anyway, we get down there. Friday was the worst day. Friday night was the worst night. And I literally fought for my life to stay alive. And when I tell you the first time that I went through this, and they gave me all these things to help with the withdrawals, I did this white-knuckled cold turkey alone. So not only am I going through the very end of the Xanax withdrawals, but now I got to withdraw and detox from alcohol as well, because I want to be sober. I'm absolutely desperate to be sober. I want nothing more, right? So here I am in a house in Tennessee with my grandmother who has 54 years of sobriety, my mother, my sister, my niece, my daughter, right? Everybody responds to treatment in different ways. Everybody needs a certain type of treatment. Not everybody's going to respond to the same treatment the same way. Just like not everybody responds to the same medication the same way, or the same foods or the same supplements the same way. Everybody's different. So no better place to do it than where I did it. I had my mother's love and food, right? I had my sister's morning walk and talks and exercise. Gotta have that. And I had my grandmother's wisdom. And then I had my niece and my daughter there, who, this is what I gave them, okay? I didn't tell them to stay away from drugs and alcohol. They didn't learn it from a teacher. They didn't open a book and read the risk factors of doing drugs and alcohol. They got to see their own kinfolk really, really going through it. So when they encounter street drugs or Xanax or alcohol in the streets, they're gonna always remember me shaking like this, profusely, sweating, the nightmares, the anxiety was absolutely through the roof. And that final day when I absolutely came out of everything, something happened. And I saw the truth. And I saw my past for what it really was and what I was really doing to myself, and how easily I can get lost by simply hanging out with the wrong people and just becoming a follower. And you become what you hang around with. And that's what happens to me every single time. So this is me out on the porch, secretly taking a video of my grandmother teaching me how to stay sober. Peep game.
Satin slippers, and I just hold them and put them on my feet and then hold them. And I think you can't drink today because you got this today. You can drink tomorrow. You know, it just, every day. When I had my first anniversary, there must have been 150 people came because I had been all over the Beltway. I spoke all the time. I had meetings all the time. They kept me busy. Really, I had a team of people, a board of directors, and I got up to, and the way you did it, you got up, the anniversary person got up and opened the meeting, and you could have two speakers. And I picked two I had met early on who'd given me phone calls, you know. And this old woman on the front row, Connie, started crying. And you know, when a woman cries, everybody cries.
Right.
It went around the room. People cried all through the meeting. After the meeting, I went up to her and I said, Connie, why you cry? This was a happy day. I mean, I made a year. And she said, ah, a bit out loud. And then she said, nobody thought that you could make it. Nobody thought you could even live. We thought you'd be dead. That's how bad I was. That's how bad I was. But it was just a thing. Of course I want to drink, and of course I'm going to. But not today. I'm not going to do it today, obviously. And I always was ashamed of being a hillbilly. I was born a hillbilly. Blue Ridge Mountains, Lynchburg, Virginia. And I learned early in life to lose that accent because it sounded like corn pone. Very ashamed of it. Very wanted to run away with it. And after I was sober about a year, I realized it was that hillbilly backbone that I was drawing on, that God gave me, not to insult me, but to give me strength. And it is, you know, every one of us is different in many ways, and every one of us is the same in many ways with this alcohol drug thing. You know, but it can be done. You know, I get, how long am I sober?
54 years.
54 years, yeah. I always get it mixed up because I was 30 when I got sober, and 2 months later, I was 31. So the year is the same, but the date is different. But it's.
And what is the most important thing you would say to an alcoholic struggling?
I would say keep something in your pocket, like some candy. You know, the candy's a quick upper, it'll knock it back down, but it handles the minute. I would say get rest. Always don't ever string yourself out to where you're exhausted. You got nothing to work with then.
Which is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you have to stay rested. Stay away from people that are negative. Very important.
Stay away from people that are negative.
Yeah.
And that bring you down.
Yeah. You get around people, it's like, if I'm around people who cuss a lot, I find I cuss a lot. And then if I'm around people who don't cuss a lot, or don't cuss at all, I find I'm not, speaking with folk and everything. It's who we choose to mix with. That's who we're gonna fall in with.
You become what you hang out with.
We fall in with it, yeah. I look at the teenagers who are 14, 15, 16, 17, and I think they don't know, but who they're hanging with now
is gonna kill them.
They won't get away from it until they're about 40, because they're on a certain level, when they're
right.
screwing up. It's not like you're gonna have a party today, but I'll have a shower tomorrow and forget it all. No, it'll take you till you're 40 and just exhausted from a bad life. But it's all don't pick up. Doctors have not one day of medical school studying alcoholism. They know how to give you a drug if you got the shakes. This will kill you. I had a doctor, Feel Good, and he was an excellent doctor in every other way, but he was a pill pusher. And
Which is what I have.
when I went in, when I got was sober enough, I was shaking bad, and he'd write 25 milligrams of Librium and something to sleep. And I said, I can't take that anymore because Henry the plumber, my doctor in AA, told me you go to the health department, you get mainline B12, massive doses. They did it once a week. And you will start to rest, you will eat. I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep.
I can't sleep.
Yeah, that's because that's the residuals from drugs, alcohol, that kind of thing. And the only way to get away from it is get away from it. You know, it's I quit the pills, those things, 3 years before I quit drinking. And I'll tell you why. I was in the nut house after the, 25 sleeping pills. And they told Glenn, don't even hang around because even if she comes out at coma, she's going to be a fruit basket. You know?
Right.
And I'm like 27 years old, something like that, 4 little kids. And then they transported me to the nut house. And what I thought about, what I realized was, if I'm drinking, I know how drunk I am, exactly how drunk I am. I'm getting high, I'm catching a buzz, okay, it's all fine. I'm getting drunk now, words are slurring. I'm saying and doing things that I know I'm going to regret tomorrow. What the hell, But now with a pill, I feel like I'm all right.
Right.
There's something very wrong with these people around me. Paranoia sets in. And I thought, no, I'm never taking one of them again. And I never have. I left the hospital a couple of years ago because they were trying to force gabapentin in me. And the woman said, I will call security to hold you down. And I said, I don't think so. I picked up the phone, called Leslie, and said, can you be here in 10 minutes? I'll meet you up front. She said, you can't leave without the doctor. The paper, and I said, watch me. And I left. It's like, I know better. I can't handle that. Do you want to know something creepy? The
Yes.
creepiest thing I have run into in years. Several years ago, I went to keep a doctor's visit. It's because I have stuff now. I get sonograms, I got stents in the legs, I gotta deal with them. And I'm in the hallway, and this woman stops me. And she's got a big chartboard in her hand, very important, and said, I have read your medical history, and you say you're alcoholic. And I said, yeah, that's right. And I said, but I'm sober. And she said, well, yes, that's what I see. And she called up how many years, 40 years or something I had. And she said, I think it would be helpful for you if you joined this class I'm setting up. It's a therapy group of people who used to be alcoholics. And they keep calling themselves alcoholics even though they're not, because they're sober. And she said, I have a few people already, and I'd like you to join the group, and I can help you get over thinking you're an alcoholic. And I just looked at her and I thought, I wonder how many people she will kill this year. How many people? This is the medical community. They refuse to learn a fucking thing about it, but they keep dealing with you. Most of them, or half of them, with a good thing, they want to help you, but they don't know how, and they will not learn. They fucking refuse to learn. Every medical person who wants to be a doctor and deal with sick human beings should be part of their curriculum 2 AA meetings a week for a year. They should watch this new person, and they should watch them grow for a year. And they should watch the ones who fail, who go out and die, watch it, make their dose, learn, and stop killing us, because that's what they do. That's what they do. And it's up to me whether I'm going to deal with people who don't know a fucking thing about me or my disease. I much preferred Henry the plumber. He saved my life. You know, the people pushed me around and said, yeah, you're shaking. You're shaking because you're sobering up. How long will it go on? I don't know. It'll go on as long as it goes on. But you're sobering up. That's part of it. Yes, you feel like shit. That's part of it. You want to take a drink or a pill, you go back there. You're not in sobering up anymore. It surrounded me. I mean, I had 4 male sponsors. That's who pulled me through. Big Danny, Kilroy. They were Henry the plumber. They were, and they're all dead, long dead now, because I was 30 when I got sober. Everybody else was 65 and up. But there's times I can feel them right on my shoulder saying, okay, you want to be an asshole today? Or are you going to be good? You know, what, it's up to you. I said to Kilroy, to Cooney, Jim Cooney, one time, I didn't know I had 6 months. I said, see a guy up there, he's good looking, isn't he? And he said, yeah, he's good looking. I said, he keeps making a move on me, and you know what, I kind of like him. Now I'm married, you know. And I said, what do you think? And he said, little one, I think you can do anything you want. It's your life, your choices. The only thing you have to remember is you have to pay the price for it. So whatever you do, there's a price on it. And you want to pay the price, do it. If you don't do it. You know, and I looked at that guy and I thought, he's not that cute. And I thought, oh, I lost it. I thought, I don't know, my mind just went, it does that a lot anymore. But it is just a thing of the minute, of course this minute is terrible, but an hour from now, you know, I think I'll shoot for an hour. I'll shoot for a day, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, of course I'm gonna. I said to Fern, my Fern sponsor, who I don't think was even an alcoholic, but she said something very, very smart to me. Because I said to her, she was talking to me and asking me questions, and I said, I want to tell you up front, I'm a loser. I'm doing good now, but the way it is with me is I build it up and then I tear it down. I've done it all my life. Build it up, tear it down. And I said, and this will be the same. And she looked at me, she had eyes like a parakeet. And she said, that's interesting. Would you do a favor for me, actually for everybody, And I said, because this won't work for me. I've been through church. I've been through these things. I think they don't work for me. And she said, do me a favor. She said, would you make a list? Would you do the steps as sincerely as you can, just as to the best of your ability? And then when you fail, write down what about the steps failed, and what was missing, or what's missing in the program, and give it to me, and I'll send it to New York, and they could rewrite the big book, put something more important in it, and we would really appreciate that. And I've thought about it, and I thought, well, I'm on the wagon for now, so I'll do it. So I started doing them, and you know what? Each step changed me a little bit. I didn't notice it. The only way you notice it is when a brand new person comes in and they're thinking and doing things that you used to do. When did you stop? I don't know. Each step, each step, each step. Last of all, having a spiritual awakening. A woman who wanted to die since she was 2 years old, loved life, enjoyed people, was helpful from time to time to people when she was able. That's a spiritual awakening, you know. So people say, do you have a spiritual awakening? When they first read the steps, somebody asked me, what would be your goal if you stayed sober? And I said, well, I read these steps and it said a spiritual awakening, and I'm not interested in one of them. What I want is a divorce and wall-to-wall carpeting. And Charlie, this young guy named Charlie, a car salesman, said, all right, you stay sober, you'll get them both. If you don't, you're not going to get either one. It's like, but they took my sick little messed up mind that had never been all right. Even before I ever had my first drink, it wasn't all right. It was a mess. And they took that little mind of mine. They listened to me. They were polite to me, and then they cuffed me and moved me this way and that way. That's a beautiful, you can't imagine what we see in AA that the rest of the world has never seen, never will. Miracles. People who come in with their fists balled up, angry, fed up, and we watch them. And then all of a sudden, a year or so later, who's that person, That's who gets to see something like that. I would say that's rather special. I think highly of it.
Wow.
Anyway,
How old are you, Mima?
I'll be 85 soon. I'm not sure which day.
And you got 54 years of sobriety.
Yeah, in April I got my 54.